All right, and hello out there to everybody. You're listening to and watching Amateur Radio Roundtable, a show about ham radio, shortwave listening, electronics. We're glad to have you tonight, and especially if you're out there tonight listening on WBCQ on shortwave. Would love to hear from you. Let's see, I'm looking for a picture here. WBCQ, where is it? There it is. If you're out there on WBCQ listening on 7490 tonight, up in out of Monticello, Maine, we'd love to hear from you. Please send us an email to tom@w5kub.com, tom@w5kub.com, and tell us where in the world you are and how you're hearing the station tonight. And, hey, don't forget, you can pick us up on just about any podcast carrier out there, from iTunes to iNet Radio, Google Play. Everybody out there is a podcast carrier is carrying us, and there's just too many to even list here. So, and we got some emails. We got a few emails from people listening on the podcast last time. I asked them to send us an email, and I got a few emails. I'm going to read them and give them a shout out tonight for sending in that email. And so we'll do that. We're waiting on a guest. Our guest tonight is Eric, 4Z1UG, and he's in Israel, but so far he hadn't come into the show yet. So he may come in a few minutes late. So we've got other things we can be doing tonight, and maybe Eric will pop in here in just a few minutes, and he's going to be, he is the founder of QSO Today podcast. And he's going to be talking about the virtual Ham Expo that's coming up here real soon. I think this is the third year for it there. Hey, hit the subscribe button. If you will, hit the subscribe button there. We'd love to have you subscribe. Let me see if I can help you out a little bit. There we go. It should be right down here somewhere. So look where that arrow's pointing. Hit that subscribe button. Hey, hit the little bell for notification. That way it will tell you when we come on with something special or in between our weekly shows. So please subscribe. It helps us to advertise our show on YouTube as people are searching YouTube. It will help bring people to our channel there. Let's see what's going on. I just got back from New Orleans this weekend. I had a good trip down to New Orleans, went down for a college graduation, rode the train down, rode Amtrak down, and drove the granddaughter's car all the way back so she could ride the train. Pretty good trip, I guess. But anyway, we're glad to be home here. All right, let's see. Is there any other announcements? Oh, hey, join our Facebook group. We've got a great Facebook group. It's just called W5KUB. Or you can type in Amateur Radio Roundtable, but that's a long name. So just type in a search bar in Facebook, just W5KUB, and join us. We got about 13 or 14,000 members in that group, and it's growing all the time. So, hey, we got Glenn with us tonight, and he showed up. I'm not here by myself. Thanks to old Glenn. He's dependable. He is here. So, Glenn, how you doing tonight, man?
Hey, we're doing real good. I actually had to go to work again today, but we've had 3 straight days of sun after all that cold and rain. So, been enjoying that and actually been doing stuff outside. I just about got my cobweb rewired and put back together. The ice storm and everything pretty much busted it up. So
yeah,
we getting ready to put the wire back on it and get it back on the air and start having some fun.
Well, I tell you, a lot of cobwebs were damaged with that ice. I don't know if it's something they want to look into and see if they can't, Well,
in my case, it's kind of got a bunch of pine trees overhanging it, and whenever you have ice, you got pine limbs coming down.
Mm-hmm.
So it just took out the wires, though. The antenna itself is fine. So just have to put some new wire up.
Yeah, well, that's not too bad. At least it didn't break the fiberglass supports
none of the
or anything,
arms or anything.
right?
No,
I
it's
guess
in
they
good
just
shape.
bent on you. Okay. Well, very good there. All right. Hey, I know you've got a little segment we're going to run tonight, and we'll get started on that. Hopefully, Eric will join us a little later tonight. But, hey, did you guys know, look at this. Man, I saw this week. Look at this. Here we go. Look at this. Right there. 40 years ago this week.
Oh, my word.
40 years ago, the cell phone was invented and it came out. You could buy that cell phone there was $3,995.
Yep.
Right there. And, that was a pretty good cell phone, actually.
Yeah, I had the bag version of that in the 90s.
That was a fairly decent cell phone right there. A little big, to carry around in your pocket, and the charger is about, it's about the size of a football. You drop that in and,
but they ran like 5 watts.
Yeah, this was a good one. I actually had a car kit with, an antenna on the back window, and this would go into a cradle there in the hump on the car. And it actually connected to the antenna back on the windshield, so it was pretty good.
You had some good range.
Yeah, so it's good and heavy. Boy, I hadn't charged this thing up in about 30 years, maybe 35 years. So I don't know if it'll charge up or not, but that's it there. That looks like the one they were talking about here, pretty close to it.
Was that the Motorola?
Yeah, this is the Motorola.
Right.
Well, it's the Motorola. It says Bell South Mobility, but this is the Ultra Classic by Motorola. So that's what this was. The Ultra Classic by Motorola. Let's see. Used to take the battery off, right? Yeah, the battery. There you go. There's the battery right there, man. Green screen's not doing it very good. Here's the battery right there. So. Anyway, hey man, I ought to put this thing back in service. And
yeah, it won't connect to anything.
Well, I could put it in service, but you know what? I found out over the years, I had a number of man, I won't go back together. I had a number of old cell phones, that I retired, and I got new cell phones, new numbers, things like that, and the grandkids would play with those phones, and they could actually. They'd turn that phone on, and the operator would actually answer.
Wow.
I guess for emergencies, those phones would still connect to an operator, and then I guess they would ask, "Do you want, what are you doing? Maybe to try to sell you a plan or something. I don't know, but they would still connect even after they were discontinued there."
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, let's see. I'm going to check the chat room out here. Let's see. Bag phone, yeah, Doc had a bag phone there.
Yeah, I had one of those too. I can't remember who made it, but yeah, I had a phone in the bag.
I had a phone that was what do you call it? It was actually a little like a little computer. It had a stylus, but it was a phone.
That's like a BlackBerry.
Well, no, I had a BlackBerry after that. This was called a
the Palm Pilot.
I mean, I don't know what it was called. I got one of those up there in the attic up there, and hey, someday we might have a use for these things,
Well, they might be valuable as collector's items. I mean, some of the old original Apple stuff is, going for quite a pretty penny these days.
Well,
yeah, Don is saying a Trio.
Yeah. Well, I know my friend over in Romania or wherever it did this remote base app that I have shown on the show before. He is working on taking all that off the computer and running it on a Droid phone. So you wouldn't even have to have a computer hooked up at home. You can just have a Droid phone connected to your radio there, and somehow it becomes the computer and does all that. That's kind of neat. I wish you could get that done, man.
Yeah.
Wish you'd get it done. Okay, hey, let's just jump into some emails here real quick we got this week. Let's see who we got them from here. Hey, here's one here from Bill K5LK. I don't know. Bill probably going to be listening. I doubt he's watching tonight because he's a podcast listener. But Bill said, "Hey, he's been on a podcast, enjoying it." Okay, all right. That's from old Bill K5LK, and we got one here, a note from another Bill. He's a podcast listener right there. Podcast Android, probably downloading the. I'm trying to read this at about 50 feet away.
Oh, I can read it for you.
Can you read it okay?
Yeah. As you requested, I'm a podcast listener. I listen on Podcast Addict on Android, probably downloading from Podbean. Thanks for the podcast.
Yeah.
Bill NF6R.
All right. And then we got one here. Athena?
This is Athena Gibbons.
Yep.
My husband and I listen to your show via podcast. We live in Mesa, Arizona, planning to get an antenna set up to listen via shortwave.
Oh,
Athena
wow.
Gibbons, AI7AP.
Yeah, that's cool. They might hear us better on the podcast than on shortwave. Out in Arizona, I don't think we've got a very good footprint out that way, but who knows?
Yeah, you never know with the way things are these days.
You never know, man. You never know. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's get us back on the show here. There we go. So let's see. What else is going on here? Oh, hey, just a couple of announcements here real quick. Hey, next week, we're going to have Glenn and Dr. Arduino on here. No, Dr. Arduino or Dr. Arduino?
It's Dr. Arduino. His name is Guido Bonelli.
Yeah.
And he is the founder and chief inventor and chief bottle washer there at drarduino.com. They build a lot of Arduino prototyping gear and things of that nature.
Okay, well, that's cool. That'll be a good show. So you and he can talk about Arduino and all the kind of things. You're the expert in our group here. Man, I know nothing, so I'm going to just sit back and listen,
Well, he's going to be demonstrating some of his projects and things and talking about some of his projects and products, including some of his latest ones. But he's got a really, really cool project that he calls the Goonie Box. That's based on the movie The Goonies, and it's Arduino powered, and it's really, really cool because he does a lot of CNC and laser printing, laser cutting, and things of that nature.
I don't know what the Goonie Box is, but just because of the name, I think I need to get me one or build one.
Need to go watch the movie The Goonies.
The Goonies, okay, all right, I'll do
like
that,
a 90s
I'll
show.
do that. So that's next week on March 14th. Dr. Arduino will be with us with Glenn here. Hey guys, the 21st, 2 weeks away, March the 21st. I don't know if we're going to have a show or not. I'm going to be traveling. I'm going over to, I'll be doing a presentation that night with the Arkansas River Valley Amateur Radio Club over in Russellville, Arkansas, over there. So I'm gonna be there doing a presentation. Gonna spend a little time in Russellville. That's where I went to the college over there. I've already talked to the college. I'm gonna get to go in my old dorms and look around a little bit. And when I was there, the dorms were. My first year there, I was in a new dorm. My second year there, I was in another new dorm that was just built. And I'm thinking, okay, these are the new dorms. But, man, that was 50 years ago. These suckers are probably falling apart by now. So I don't know. But no, I tell you what, I think they're totally changed from when I was there. I think now they have private baths in all the rooms. Hey, I think they're even co-ed now. Tell you the truth, I don't know. It wasn't co-ed when I was there. But anyway, so we're going to be doing that. Spending a few days in Russellville. I'm going to go up on Mount Nebo. Mount Nebo is, I don't know, it's a pretty high little plateau over there. It's 2,000 feet high. And I'm going to go up there. A lot of the Memphis guys go over for VHF contesting and It's pretty neat up here. It's flat up here, and you can set your VHF antennas up, and it'd be 2,000 feet high, and you can do some good contacts from over in that area there. So we're going to do that. Arkansas River goes through there, the dams, the lakes. We're going to have a good time there. Going to eat at Whataburger. I remember when they built that Whataburger on the campus. It is still there. We're going to eat at Whataburger. And then I think we're going to go up to Branson, Missouri for a couple days, and maybe ride a train or something, and take in some of the shows. So I don't think I'm going to have a show 2 weeks from now on March the 21st. It may be that we pull up a rerun or something and run it, but we may just skip that. All right, so Glenn, what do you got going tonight? You said you've got some kind of deal there you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, we got Bill about to join us as well.
Okay.
WB80LK. Yeah, I did this little presentation, put it together here, and if you'll set it up so I can share the screen, I'll get rolling here.
Yep.
And let's see. It's going to get interesting. Hang on, I got to switch my screens around because I got everything all over the place here. Do that. All right, now we should be able to share this screen. Da-da. And give it a minute or two to load up and everything. I'm still running Windows 7. But you should be able to see my screen now.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. This is talking about the Arduino powered lightning detector and how it works, and gives us a little insight into lightning and some things like that. And so we'll do this tonight. One of the things I'm often asked is, where do I come up with my ideas for the Arduino projects? And in the case of the lightning detector, it came as a result of a ham radio weekend breakfast get-together that we used to have. A lot of my ideas come from just looking at things. For example, I've got a project on my workbench right now that a friend has an issue with their ice maker in their fridge, in that someone takes their glass and holds it under the ice dispenser, and they leave the glass in there for an extended period of time, and of course it clogs the ice maker. They have to pull it all apart and unclog the ice and everything. So I came up with an Arduino powered project that senses when you start dispensing the ice, and it gives you 7 seconds of ice. It's adjustable as well, and then it disables the ice maker for about 30 seconds. And of course, it can be bypassed if you need more ice, but this will prevent that ice maker from getting jammed. So this is where I get some of my ideas from. In the case of the lightning detector, this is also the origin for one of my favorite phrases whenever you hear me talk about the Arduino, when I say, wouldn't it be cool if? And that conversation started out with, wouldn't it be cool if we could build a lightning detector to detect when lightning was in the area and automatically disconnect your antennas and then reconnect them when the storm has passed. Back then, I was on the road a lot during the day, and I couldn't get home to disconnect my antennas if I didn't think ahead of time. And you would, leave your radios at risk and things like that. So the general consensus around the table was that, yeah, such a device like that would be cool, but lightning detectors were expensive. Well, there was my challenge. And I actually found what I needed online for about $30 as soon as I got home from that breakfast, and I ordered those parts the same day. First of all, let's look at what lightning is. It's an electrical discharge caused by imbalances between storm clouds and the ground, or between the clouds themselves. Think of it as kind of a form of friction, just like when you rub your feet on the carpet and then touch a doorknob. just think of it on a much, much bigger scale. Lightning happens when the negative charges from the electrons in the bottom of the cloud are attracted to the positive charges, the protons, in the ground. Lightning is a large-scale natural spark discharge that occurs within the atmosphere or between the atmosphere and the Earth's surface. On discharge, a highly conductive plasma channel is created in the air, and when this current flows within this channel, it rapidly heats the air to about 25,000 degrees centigrade. So you got a pretty hot little pipe there. But research has determined that lightning has a detectable RF component at about 500 kilohertz, which is why you could prominently hear the lightning on your standard AM radio. Researchers have also determined that if you listen to those lightning crashes on an AM radio, you can hear that the lightning kind of has a unique signature or pattern to the noise. Well, this company called Austria Microsystems created the AS3935 Franklin lightning sensor to detect this unique signature. And unaided, you can typically hear thunder at a distance of approximately 10 kilometers, which often leaves far too little time to find adequate shelter from a fast-moving storm. And here is the AS3935 chip. It's a 16-pin chip, about the size of a tick, the MLPQ package. It's got the SPI and the I2C bus. It's got a little onboard voltage regulator. It's got signal processing, and I mean, this signal processing is amazing, and we'll get into that. But basically, it's also got a 500 kilohertz receiver, and its goal is to listen for that lightning, analyze it, and try to find the pattern in it. The AS3935 lightning sensor uses a sensitive RF receiver to detect the emissions from nearby lightning activity. It detects both cloud to ground and cloud to cloud lightning. A proprietary algorithm embedded in the hardware in this chip converts the RF signal into an estimation of the distance to the head of the storm. Based on extensive meteorological survey data, this algorithm produces an estimated distance to storm calculation from 40 kilometers all the way down to 1 kilometer and overhead. The algorithm also rejects disturbances, which are known as disturbers, from man-made signals such as motors and arcs and microwave ovens and things of that nature. AS3935 can be configured to use either the SPI or the I2C communication protocols. The shortest time between these detection events is approximately 1 second. It operates on a power supply voltage from 2.4 to 5.5 volts when you use the on-chip voltage regulator. Otherwise, it runs on 2.4 to 3.6 volts. It has 3 modes: power down, which means it's just on standby, not doing anything; listen, where it's listening, but not fully powered up, and once it hears something, then it will fully power up; and then active, which is it's ready to go. And Austria Microsystems developed this, but now it has been sold to and manufactured by Sciosense. And it's available as a module from various suppliers such as SparkFun, AliExpress, Banggood, eBay, DF Robot, Playing with Fusion, Embedded Adventures, and some others. And they're costing about $25 or so. Here are some of these various modules. You can see SparkFun and the Playing with Fusion. They're all basically the same, but if you look on each of them, you see that little label with the white label with the black writing. That is on top of basically a bar antenna, very similar to those antennas you used to have inside your transistor AM radios, just on a much smaller scale. And these things are about the size of a postage stamp. The chip also has an interrupt output, so your sketch doesn't have to sit there and constantly poll the sensor for activity. It can interrupt you and let you know that it has found a lightning event. And these detection settings, there's a number of them that you can adjust to configure, so you can fine-tune it for your environment. If you've got a higher than normal noise level or things of that nature, you can adjust for that. It has an indoor and an outdoor sensitivity mode. You've got spike rejection, which will help you to differentiate between the false events and the actual lightning. Then you have a lightning threshold. This is the number of events that must occur within a 15-minute window before it says lightning has been detected. And it also has a watchdog threshold that determines the threshold and the number of events that will actually trigger the IRQ pin to give you a lightning interrupt. You can also mask out the disturbers so you can watch for these noise events in case you want to. These are events other than lightning, and that will allow them to trigger the IRQ pin as well if you want to detect high noise and things of that nature. The AS3935 module has an onboard mini bar antenna, just like you see in the transistor radios. This is what is used to receive that 500 kilohertz component in the lightning. The sensor must be tuned to the proper frequency by adjusting the division ratio and capacitance of the sensor. Fortunately, this tuning process can be performed within a sketch, and once these values have been determined for a given module, you don't need to repeat the tuning process. You can hard code these values in your sketch. But you do need to be aware that every module, due to manufacturing differences, it's just slightly different enough that you will need to tune each individual module. A lot of them come with the recommended tuning parameters, but if not, you can tune them with a sketch. And you also want to avoid running the SPI bus or any other interface at its 500 kilohertz clock rate, and that way you avoid cross-coupling, false detection, and desensitizing of the receiver. It'll also report a lightning energy value. Now, this is just a relative number from 0 to 100. It's got no real physical correlation, but you can use it to produce a energy value of the energy of the lightning it's detecting. The estimated distance reported is not the distance to the single lightning event, but rather the estimated distance to the leading edge of the storm as determined by the on-chip signal processing. SparkFun has an excellent library for this, and although there are other libraries available, you can get them all through the Arduino IDE's library manager. They all work really good. And as we mentioned earlier, a possible amateur radio application would be to use this lightning detector to disconnect our antennas and other equipment when an approaching storm is detected, and reconnect them after the storm has passed. And here we are building this. We're running an Arduino Nano. We've got our level shifters to talk to the module. Actually, the level shifters are to talk to the TFT display. We've added a relay so that we can give us a contact output, so we can connect that to a device, module, assembly, or whatever that will perform the actual antenna disconnect. And then the headers there are to connect power switches, input power, the TFT display, and the actual lightning sensor. As you'll see here in a minute, we've got it up on a little short mast. And this is to prevent interference from the Arduino's clock and SPI bus and whatever. We've got a TFT display and things like that, but we actually run that cable down to that board on those header pins. This is what the display looks like. In this case, lightning was detected 24 kilometers away, and energy is 83%. So it was a pretty strong little storm. And this happened 2 minutes ago, and it's telling me that my antennas are disconnected. And they will stay disconnected until 30 minutes after, or 60 minutes after the storm has passed. And then you have your various tuning parameters and everything also on the display. Here's our schematic, and I don't think you can really see that well, but you've got the Nano, you've got the level shifter, you've got the TFT display, and then you can use any of those lightning detection modules. Just make sure you get the pin wiring correctly and everything, and that's why each module is shown here. And then there's your relay. It gives me a pair of contacts out that I can use to control a disconnect assembly. The flow chart here, very simple. At the start, we include our libraries, define our variables, set up the lightning detector, set up the display, and then we set up the I/O pins, initialize the lightning detector, and initialize the display. And then here we check if that calibration jumper is set. If it is, then we perform the tuning capacitor calibration. And if it's not, we fall straight into the main loop, which will check for an event. It will update the event times, check for the event, and display what event it saw. And then it will set and reset the antenna disconnect relay based on the timing parameters. And this entire project has been updated. It was in my first book, but this has been completely updated, and it's going to be in the new book that's coming out here called The Best of Arduino for Ham Radio from ARRL. This is due out in late May or early June at this point. And the sketches and libraries for this will be available soon at www.kw5gp.com. And let's see here. Let me stop sharing.
So, Glenn, does that specify which Arduino IDE to use? Can you use the new updated one, or do you need to use the old?
It uses the. Am I still sharing?
Yeah, you are.
All right, hang on. I gotta stop the sharing.
Well,
there we go. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's using version 1.18, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But basically, it'll work with any of the later IDEs now. Once you get past the 1.14 or thereabouts, they changed a lot of things. But the current IDE prior to version 2.0 will do it just fine. Yeah. I don't have anything on 2.0 yet. It's still too new for me to trust it. So it uses the standard IDE at like version 1.18.
Well, I upgraded to the 2.0 or 2.08 or whatever it was here a few weeks ago when I was doing the ESP32.
Right.
And man, that thing looks different. It looks totally different.
But here is that lightning detector.
Yeah.
And Tom, you'll remember this because you were part of it. Back in that field day a couple of years where we had those horrible storms and all the flooding and everything, you know, we were out at field day. We actually had this lightning detector out there, and whenever lightning was detected, we'd all get to safety and away from the radios and out of the rain. And when it wasn't detecting lightning in the area, we could operate. So we at least had some bit of a field day, but it kept us all safe, kept the equipment safe. You know, not bad for a little $30 piece of equipment.
I remember that day, and the water was so deep out there, everybody was up on top of the picnic tables.
Yeah. We were on like a little 2-foot high mound in the park, and yet we still had an inch or two of standing water inside the pavilion.
And everybody was on top of the picnic tables, and I think they even had a tarp kind of cover the radios up, but you know, Glenn, if I'm not mistaken, those were metal picnic tables, man.
Yeah, they were. We would have glowed in the dark.
Oh, man, yeah. Well, you know, it was fun. I watched the ducks cross the road swimming, and, you know, and we had fun that day.
Yeah. But
does your device here show that the antenna is disconnected? I think it does.
Shows the disconnect. But what it does is it provides you with a contact, a relay, a switch contact, a relay contact that you would have to have a separate antenna relay. You can use a standard relay for that. There's many designs of that in QST and elsewhere. And that design was so that you can use pretty much any kind of relay and setup that you wanted. But I leave that actual functionality up to you because it's real easy to come up with an antenna disconnect relay.
Yeah, you know, for HF, you can use just about any relay will work.
Right.
In fact, if you look inside these auto tuners and stuff, they're just basically little just plastic, just simple relays, you know.
Oh, a whole slew of relays.
What I'm using on my remote base here is I've got a coaxial antenna switch. I think it came out of one of these high-powered, probably Motorola mobile rigs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a 12-volt coaxial. I do that. And so actually, when I turn the remote base off, I use a Wemo. Is it Wemo? It's the Wi-Fi deal. Little app on your phone. I just turn the remote base on or off. and that turns the power on or off, or disconnects, and at the same time disconnects or connects the antenna.
Right.
But that's pretty neat the way that thing there is smart enough to know when to turn off or disconnect the antenna. Now, hey, the next couple of days we got some rain and storms coming in here, so you might get to test that thing out there.
Oh, it's been thoroughly tested, man.
Yeah.
You know, this was in my first book, and I decided to update it and give it one of those color displays and just totally clean it up a little bit.
All right.
And added the disconnect code and things of that nature.
All right. Well, let me do this real quick. We'll be right back, guys. We'll take about a minute break here, and we'll be back, and we will continue the show after that. Cabin Fever, spring into the new year with ICOM. ICOM's newest amateur FM transceiver is the IC V3500, and it's ready to hit the road with whatever you're doing. With a compact body and simple interface, this radio is a must for those looking for a long-range mobile with a fresh look. The IC-T10 is a rugged portable that meets or exceeds standard military testing. With an IP67 waterproof rating, the IC-T10 can withstand any field activities ahead. Hear any transmission and listen to FM broadcasts with the loud 1.5 watt speaker. The IC705 is a perfect sidekick and QRP companion, base station features and functionality at the tip of your fingers. It's a portable package. It covers HF 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. This compact rig weighs in at just over 2 pounds with an RF direct sampling, most of the HF bands, and IF sampling. The ID5100A is innovation and mobility taken to the next level. Designed from user input, the ID5100 offers an intuitive user interface experience with an industry-leading touchscreen display. Additionally, the ID5100 connects with Android devices and Bluetooth headsets via the optional Bluetooth module. The ID5100A is one of the most advanced dual-band mobiles on the market today. And last but not least is the ID52A. It's a VHF-UHF dual-bander with D-Star and FM dual-mode functions, and is the first handheld amateur radio with a full-color 2.3-inch waterfall display. This radio supports conventional FM communications and D-Star simplex repeater, regional, and worldwide calls over the D-Star Internet Gateway. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM Radio. All right, guys, we are back with you, and we're having a good time. We've got Bill joining us here tonight, and Glenn's already shown us the lightning detector there. We haven't heard from Eric yet. Our time changes from GMT, UTC. Sometimes we're 5 hours, sometimes we're 6 hours in 5 hours. I hate that. I wish they'd fix that. So maybe there's a problem. Maybe Eric might come in an hour late. I don't know. But if he does, he'll probably be coming in the next 10 or 15 minutes. So we'll wait and see if Eric comes in here. Let me again make it a quick announcement out there while we got a minute here. If you're listening on WBCQ, send us an email to tom@w5kub.com. This show is about ham radio, amateur radio, and shortwave listening, and we'd love to hear from you. Let us know where you are. You can find us on just about any podcast out there. We read emails tonight from some of our podcast viewers, not viewers, but our podcast listeners, I guess. And we thank you for those. We thank you for those notes that you sent us there. Let's see. Mark P says, he was an hour early. I don't know. Maybe he was an hour early. I don't know. Anyway, what was that?
Congress is actually working on a law to make daylight savings time the permanent time, and we won't shift. My personal stance is no, go and use standard time. And if you want to change your store hours or business hours, then that's what you do. But the world has 24 time zones. Let's not go doing this daylight savings time and messing up with the time zones.
Yeah, I don't really care what to do. Just make it one.
I do wish they'd just pick one, though. I'll settle for that.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
hey,
here, what, in a week, I got to start getting up at 4 a.m. to go to work instead of 5 a.m.
well, let me tell you, the 4 a.m. is not fun. Thursday, we got up at 4 a.m. to ride that train down to New Orleans. That was not fun getting up,
No.
man. You kind of have a sick feeling when you get up at 4 in the morning, you know. Now,
Man,
we probably
the
got
world does
people.
not move at 4 a.m.
We've probably got people in the chat room here that get up early every morning, you know, and that's normal for them. But hey, guys, when you like me and almost like Glenn here about to retire, man, 4 in the morning comes awful early.
No, I don't do well. 2 days a week I get up at 6 a.m. and then 3 days a week I do the 5 a.m. thing, and that's going to be one of the first things I do when I retire. Is I'm going to sleep until about 10 or 11 every day.
Yeah. So, Bill, I don't know if you probably tuned in late. This is the 40th anniversary of the cell phone coming out, man. Look at that right there, man. And you know,
I used to operate one of those. I used to have one of those.
Yeah, kind of like this one right here.
In fact,
man.
I had the oldest working cell phone in North Alabama.
Did you?
17 years on one cell phone.
Yeah.
And they didn't know what to do with it. It was one of those flip phones, the Motorola flip phone.
Yeah.
With the orange LED on it, and they had no idea how to convert that plan over to an iPhone, and it took them 4.5 hours, and they kept calling their other employees over. Look at this! Look at this! You ever see anything like this?
Oh, man.
The cell phone was older than some of the employees.
Oh my word!
Well, I'm sure that we've got some people in the chat room tonight that were not even born when I got this phone right here. So.
Oh, I do have another little piece of news I got earlier this week. I will be officially doing an Arduino forum at Dayton this year. I'll be doing it at 9:15 on Saturday morning in Building 4. So this will be my first Arduino forum at Dayton, and I'm hoping it's going to be a good one.
Well, that's good. Glad you finally got on the roster up there.
And what day is that, Glenn?
Saturday. What is
Saturday.
that? The 19th or 20th, whatever the dates are.
Yeah, I'll be Friday at noon. Well, 11 o'clock, 11:15 in Forum Room 3.
Yeah.
But they'll be on Friday.
Mine's on the Saturday, the 20th, and you're on the 19th.
Well, folks, we are not going this year. After 40 consecutive years, we're gonna skip out. Not gonna go. But hey,
yeah, you're gonna miss all the fun. You're gonna miss me and Bill doing presentations.
you know what? I can probably handle it okay, but we will go to Huntsville for sure. We'll be there. We'll be there with bells on our shoes. Yeah.
I'll bring the bells.
All right.
I'll bring the shoes.
All right. Very, very good.
We'll
All
get
right.
those little
So,
curly shoes.
what we'll do here in just a minute, since Eric hadn't shown up here, we'll probably open the phone lines and Zoom early tonight, and let's just see if we can get some precipitation. Yeah, that's the word. See if we can get some precipitation out of our viewers. What do you think? Think we can?
Oh, I'm sure we can.
Yeah, we'll try it. All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and post a phone number. If I do that, let's see. It's a while since I've done this. Let's see.
Copy, paste.
Well, no, I've got it on my TV program here. Let's see. Well, new phone number, right?
Hey, Tom,
There
I've
we
got
go.
a call for you
There we
here.
What was that?
I got a call. I've got a call for you here. You
Okay.
pull the antenna out, get a little better reception on it.
All
There
right.
you go.
Let me see that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty
you
good.
have to transfer-
1990 is calling you.
Yeah, well,
transfer it to his phone.
I'll check you out right here. What, 1980, whatever, 40 years. What would that be? 40?
Yeah, look at the advance between 1980 and 1990. it was actually about 1994.
Yeah, this
And now
phone, this
we bring
phone's
you
so
a
bad.
this
This
phone.
phone's so
Century.
bad. The green screen's making it melt, man. Yeah. All right.
I carried this phone to the mall once, and I held it up like I was making calls, and people were looking at me and making big, comments. Look at that cell. Is that a cell phone? What is that?
Same thing. And I had this phone probably when most people never even had a cell phone. It just come out. This was for work, and back then we wore suits. And a friend of mine and I, we'd go to a parts store at lunch, out there, and we'd have our phone with us. And the first thing, and we'd ask for somebody, and the first thing they would say is, "Hey, Joe, the cops are here to talk to you." I don't know why, but I don't know. Oh man! All right.
The battery's still good on this.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I've gone through several iPhone batteries, which they have to deep solder, and it costs $80. The batteries, I can charge this up and it still works.
Amazing.
I'm going to bring the phones up in case there's somebody that wants to join us by phone. We don't get too many phone calls though.
I
really wanted to test this thing out. I mean, the specs say we can take 1,000 simultaneous calls, and I've never had over 3 or 4 at the same time, man. So let's see.
Well, you can use your phone there and call it.
Yeah, and I've done that before. I've done that. Well,
What I think is amazing, back when they first started talking about the cell technology, I read up on that. I'm like, I have no clue how they're going to make that work. That made no sense at all to me about the concept of cells and switching radios between cells and that kind of thing.
Well, you know who invented that? Hedy Lamarr, the Hollywood movie star lady, invented basically, and I think she patented it, but that was the cell system, the trunking, whatever, however it was. She
invented frequency hopping as well.
The frequency hopping. That was Hedy Lamarr. That was, a 1940s actress, I guess, maybe 1930s, 1940s actress. And she did that, I think, during the war effort to help, I guess they experimented and used that some during the war. Don says spread spectrum. That's what it was. Yeah. Spread spectrum. All right. So let's see. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Hear that?
Yep, that same old
If you
music.
guys don't want to hear that music, somebody better call the phone our phone line right here. If we get a call, the music stops. All right, I'm gonna turn the music down, and I will try to watch it. I don't have a ringer on here, so that's interesting. The phone system will take 1,000 calls, but there's no ringer to watch. I mean, why'd they cut costs right there? I wonder. So anyway, I'll have to watch it. I have been known to not watch it very often, and people are on hold over there for like 20 minutes. All right, so I put the Zoom link out there. I put the Zoom link out, and here's the phone number and the Zoom link. You can take your pick, guys, on which one you might use to join us there. Let's see. Yep, that's right. Okay. All right, maybe turn the music up just a little bit. Yeah, way we can kind of hear the music. Tell if anybody's there. Okay. All right. Well, Bill, what do you got going on new there, man? We hadn't talked in a while. Anything going on?
Oh, just trying to get high-speed internet out in the hinterlands here. It's showing that I have bandwidth is low, but I just tested it and it seems pretty fast. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Well, it's looking
I've got
good
one of those
tonight.
new Verizon home internet things. What's that?
It's looking good tonight, and also your picture looks good. Your Zoom looks good. You must have fixed your Zoom.
Yeah, I had to reinstall it, and
Yeah.
I've got a new, and I've also put it on a new laptop here. So.
Oh, hey, we got a call.
Yeah, I've got 100 times the internet speed that I normally have.
That's
it's the
great.
Verizon 5G.
All right. Hey, we have our first caller tonight. Hello, caller. Who's there?
Good afternoon, good evening to you from VK Land.
VK Land.
This
Okay.
Is Mike. Yeah, this is Mike VK2.
Mike.
NK.
Hey, Mike. How you doing, man?
Oh, good. Enjoying your show tonight.
Well, give us a signal report. Give us a signal report. How are we getting down here tonight? Maybe 5 by 9, probably.
Yeah, 5 by 9 for sure.
Our audio pretty good.
Yep.
All right. Did you dial the local VK number or did you dial the U.S. number?
I got a VK number to call.
Oh, okay.
I called that.
Okay. Hey, guys, we have phone numbers in 65 countries. If you're in a foreign country, hey, just go to our website, w5kub.com, click on Contact Us, and over on the left side, you'll see information about the phone numbers, and just click on international numbers, and, it'll pull up the number. It'll pull up your number there.
I got the number for down here in VK Land.
Yeah, okay. Well,
he just missed it, though. If he had been the 999th caller, he would have won the grand prize.
that's right. He would have. He would have.
Anyway, make the effort to put in a call, and I'll leave you guys to it.
Well, hey, man, we appreciate you calling in from VK Land down there, and at least we got one call on our 1,000-line telephone system tonight.
Okay.
All right, man. Hey, join us on
Thank you.
Zoom if you want to,
73.
man. Join us on Zoom if you want to, Mike. Good night there.
That's actually one country I've never worked.
Oh, really?
I'm hoping to do it this solar cycle. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, let's see. What else is going on here? Let's see. Let me just make an announcement again. Hey, guys, join our Facebook group. It's called W5KUB. Love to have you join that Facebook group. Hit the subscribe button. Again, subscribe button is right there. You can't miss it. Hit the subscribe button. We got the phone number listed at the bottom of the screen. We've in the chat room, we've listed both the phone number and the Zoom link number for you to call. I see a red light came on over here. I see Rick joined us, WA4NVM, here in the Memphis area. He must have had a meeting tonight or something. I think some of the clubs have meetings on Tuesday nights, don't they, Glenn?
Yeah, they do. Is this the second? No, this is not the second Tuesday of the month. It's only the first.
Yeah. Well, no. Well,
No,
yeah, you're
'cause
right.
last
You're right.
Tuesday
You're
was
right.
the 28th.
You're right.
Trust me, this I know.
You're right. Well, this is after the show, guys. So, we went to the after the show early tonight. We were expecting our guest, Eric 4Z1UG, founder of QSO Today Podcast. He was supposed to be with us tonight talking about Virtual Ham Expo coming up. That's going to come up March the 25th and 26th. So if you haven't attended that, it's virtual, it's online, it's rooms. You can go to any room and listen to forums and see stuff and products. March the 25th and 26th, Virtual Ham Expo. You can probably just go to Eric's. Well, you can go to the QSO QSO Today, and you can probably get a link to it there, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah, I actually have presented before, and it's really, really cool. It is a very, very nice feeling virtual Hamfest environment. It's really well done.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, someone asked, have we recovered the ant crew yet? We have not heard from Huey, Dewey, and Louie. It's very unusual. Usually our search and rescue teams usually pick those guys up within 1 or 2 days. We have not heard anything from them. They went down somewhere around Israel to Syria. And they could be in the water, they could be on land. I don't know where they are. So
they're probably doing a march in the desert.
Yeah, they could be. Of course, they have been in the desert before, and probably some long marches. You know, I mean, if you guys remember, once they crashed in the desert there in western China, and they were rescued there by the Tibetan monks. Let's see. I think we had another. Oh, that was a big story right there where our two-man crew, Huey and Dewey, were rescued there by the Bedouin. What is it? Bedouin tribe out there. Yeah. I think it took them days to get there. We have not heard. I'm still optimistic that we will hear from Huey, Dewey, and Louie. And we will probably get them in the air again sometime soon. We do still have one balloon flying right now, W5KUB 113 is still flying, and you can see that on our website, W5KUB.com. It's been up now 100 and... what was that, Bill?
Yeah, there were 2 Antarctic balloons flying. Doesn't 115 still transmitting?
No, 115 went down about 4 days ago, I think. So 113 is the only balloon that's down there, and that's the one that crossed the equator from being launched here in the Memphis area.
Oh, okay. WB4ELK-7 is still transmitting on 10 meters from just southeast of New Zealand. That's the last Antarctic balloon to still fly then.
Yeah, they're all just about fizzled out down there, so... let me see where
the GPS isn't working right on that one, so it's not giving a good altitude.
Yeah.
But I just checked WhisperNet, and we've got all kinds of reception reports from that one all over the west coast of the U.S. right now.
Let's see, 130.
So it's transmitting right now.
Let me pull it up here. Let's see where 113 is right now. And this one, I didn't expect 113 to stay up very long. It's flying heavy. 113 heavy. It's crossing Chile right now. That's what it is. That's where he is. Let me pull it up here. If I can. You might can see it on the map here. It's right over Chile. So. It has been it's been doing pretty good, although that was heavy. Normally we fly much lighter, but we put double solar panels, and we put the 100 milliwatt amplifier on this guy, so he's loaded down. But he's still doing pretty good at about 45,000 feet, and looks like 73 miles an hour crossing Chile there. So. I don't know, it's hard to keep up with where they are down there. It's hard to tell when they make a circle around the Earth, you know, and not much down there to see. At least they're not being shot at down here. That's the main thing here. Hey, they launched some...
I see 115 actually descended.
What was that?
I see 115 actually was descending. You can see it on the charts. It was actually going down.
I didn't look that close to it. There was a Hamfest this past weekend in Houston. They did a balloon launch out there at the Hamfest. They made an announcement at noon. They were launching the Pico balloons, and they said at 12:30 the missiles will be launched. So they had a head start, 30-minute head start. So I think they launched 4, and I think 3 of them went down probably on the way up. I don't know if one is still up or not, but didn't sound like they had a lot of success from that launch.
Well, as of the 4th of March, right at 0158 UTC, you were flying along at 38,000 feet. When it woke up the next morning at 1458 Zulu, it was at 6,000 feet and going down. And it actually, you got reports all the way down to 2,500 feet.
Oh, wow.
So it was on its way in.
Yeah.
So it finally, so the only one flying now is WB4ELK-7.
Yeah. So it looks like the 113.
In the original Antarctic.
Yeah, it looks like the 113 has been up 152 days. That still ain't bad, Our other one was up.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. The other one was up 257 days. A little disappointed it came down after 257 days. This guy's still flying. Maybe he can get 257 days. I don't know, but we'll see.
Still
How many days did you have on 115? How many days has that been up?
Let's see. 115 was up. I got it right here. Let's go to 115. Well, I needed to stop it. I think it was about at least a week ago. So take 7 off of that. It was about 90-something days. On
That's not too bad.
That was 115, about 90 days. So.
No, considering when you first started with the balloons, you were lucky to get a week out of them.
Yeah, it was real hit and miss 4 years ago. But I can tell you, things have changed. Just as technology changes over time, I think the balloon thing has changed over time. And what used to be very difficult 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, it's getting pretty easy now. And I always said, if you want to send one around the world, you got to try 10 times. We made it on our 9th time. But now I'm telling people, I think if you use one of these balloons that we found here, I think you got a good chance of making it around the first time. I really do.
Yeah. Actually, mine, the 114 made it, first time around.
Yeah, and that was
one that went up from Antarctica.
How long was that? 114 was up.
It was up quite a while.
Let me look here.
About 20 or 30 days, maybe.
I looked at the wrong.
Yeah. No, I think it was more than that. I think it's 2 months.
Oh yeah, it was up several months. It was up quite a time. Yeah. All right, guys, if you want to talk to us, phone lines are open. Call that phone number right there, or you can join us on Zoom here. We're probably going to close the show down about 9:30 tonight. That's about another 25 minutes. So if you want to get in here with us, you better give us a call here. Next week, Dr. Arduino is going to be with us next week. And then a week after, again, I'll be in Russellville, Arkansas, presentation with the Arkansas River Valley Amateur Radio Club over there, and visit my old college, and I'll have some fun over there. Go up on Mount Nebo, and maybe, and then we're gonna just eat at Whataburger. I remember when a Whataburger was built right there on the campus, man.
We got one here in South Haven.
Let me tell you, man. Hey, you eat that college food there in the cafeteria, and then you build a Whataburger on the campus. Let me tell you, man.
Oh, they had more business than they could shake a stick at.
They got the business, and it's still there. And this has been 50 years now.
That's amazing.
It's still there, man. Oh, man. So we're going to check out the Whataburger, too, I'm sure. That's making me hungry right now.
I just wish that Popeyes, wasn't so busy, because I love their chicken sandwiches. The one here, the cars are always wrapped around the buildings pretty much every hour they're open.
Yeah. Good night, Doc. Papa Doc is signing off, it looks like. 73, Doc. Glad you were with us tonight. Well, you know, and I was talking to Bill, I think, or somebody the other day. I'm not in any hurry to get another balloon back in the air right now, just because it's getting so easy to fly. So I want to do something. I want to do something harder. I want to do something more difficult.
Maybe we need to send one up with the chaff dispenser.
I want to do one with more of a challenge. You know, you're not sending one up with a challenge, not fun anymore. So, you know, I'd really like to try to hit 65, float at 65,000. Now,
well, here's what you do: you paint one with a paint a target on the balloon.
Yeah.
And there's your challenge. If that survives, then you did it right.
Yeah. Well, 3 balloons, if you do the numbers, 3 balloons really don't fly really hardly any higher than 1 balloon because you're adding extra weight. And, I mean, if X balloon will only fly at 49,000, Y balloons only fly at 49,000, and Z balloons are going to fly at 49,000. You tie them all together, and they're going to fly at 49,000,
WD8 IOL's got your challenge. Dangle a Chinese flag from it.
I don't know about that, man.
But how does the math work for getting it to 65,000 feet?
Well, I think so, Bill. Don't you think the GPS work at 65? Where'd Bill go?
I just meant the floating capability.
Did we lose Bill?
He's muted. He's coming.
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you think the question was? Do you think the GPS will work at 65,000?
It depends on the GPS.
Yeah.
The U-blocks that I use, you had to send a command to it to make it work above 40,000 feet. But all GPSs, most GPSs will work up there unless they've got a restriction on them.
Yeah.
It depends on the manufacturer. Some of them don't. You just have to test them.
Yeah, and the only way to test them is stick them up there, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Well,
now they do have GPS simulators that you can buy.
Yeah.
In fact, they have a program for these SDR modules that you can. I had one at Dayton I bought that if you add a program to it, it'll actually transmit GPS. So you can fake it out to make it think that it's
I
flying
guess you
up
could.
at 65,000.
Yeah. Well, I think that we put these. What is it called? Air mode or something? Is that what? In the firmware?
Well, in the U-blocks, you set it up for airborne mode.
Yeah.
But I don't remember on the ones you're using, the ATGMs, what the command is.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So I would like to. I think
if it works up to 40,000 feet, it'll work on up to 65.
Well, and this one here, this 8 GTM whatever, that's what we've been flying in. 112 when we first launched it, it was floating at around 51,000. It did that for about the first week or a few days, and then it came down to about 49. It's been between 47 and 49 the whole time, so I think it will probably do it. The challenge is, I just don't think there's a balloon. I just don't think there's a envelope that can get us up there. I mean,
well, you probably want to fly maybe 2 of those Yokohama balloons, or maybe even 3, supported by a lightweight ring of some sort.
Yeah,
you want to keep them apart from each other.
Yeah, I was in bed the other night thinking that all night. How would I support them? I mean, a ring is going to weigh it's going to add some weight there. for sure. And of course, that's going to kill
Well,
things.
now what we've done when flying those pancake balloons, we tape the top balloon to the neck of the top balloon to the top ridge line of the bottom balloon.
Right, and some of
But
those
there's nothing to tape
balloons,
to
some of those balloons
comma.
even had a tab on the top that you could, you could
They
connect it
did.
to.
They
Yeah.
did.
So I don't know. You
You would
know,
have to do
the thing about it, if you can get it up to 50, if you can get it up to 65,000, it ain't going to ever hit a storm.
well.
up there.
They're less likely to be a target for one,
Yeah.
and also you're above most 99% of the weather.
Yeah.
So you're going to stay up a very long time.
And the winds are.
That's the reason
winds are
your
very
one
slow.
flight is up.
The winds are very slow up there too, so it might be less stress on the balloons. I don't know. I've thought about how to put them together.
And up until recently, most countries considered that to be uncontrolled airspace,
Yeah.
above 60,000.
Yeah. Well, I think if I'm going for the 65, I'm not going to be adding any extra weight. Weight's the killer, so no more PA system, no more extra solar cells. In fact, we may even cut a couple solar cells off and run on less solar cells. So I think the key is going to be get that weight down. You know, our total weight's around 7.8 grams. Maybe get the whole tracker down to like 5 grams. I mean, everything down at 5 grams. That's the antenna, the solar panels, the tracker, styrofoam, everything. That's hard to believe you can get it down that low. So I think, I don't know, I played with the numbers, Bill, in a float sheet the other night, and I saw absolutely no increase. I may have been doing it wrong. I really didn't see any increase. I didn't see any increase with 2 and 3
to a
balloons.
certain level, but that float sheet, you have to, beyond a certain point, it's diminished returns on how accurate it is.
Yeah. Well, Mike says change to hydrogen. I don't know if he's talking to us or not, but we always run hydrogen in our balloons because that gives us a little bit more
And
altitude than the helium.
yeah, substantially more, and also reduces the leakage rate substantially too.
Yeah.
So there's 2 benefits, plus it's cheap.
Yep.
Helium is getting incredibly hard to come by, even in small quantities right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a little 20 cubic foot tank of helium on order, and it will take 6 weeks before they can obtain some, even in that small quantity.
Yeah. Well. So hey,
And that's what I'm going to use for the day.
I'm just thinking, if I'm trying to hold 3 balloons separate from each other, that just the extra weight's gonna kill it. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, you do. Or you could just tie them together and hope that the friction of them rubbing against each other won't affect it. Now, what one guy did was to glue on the pancake balloons. He glued them together on the side.
Yeah.
Or I think he used that very high bond tape is what it used. 3M makes a VHB tape that survives cold temperatures. We'll have to think about that one.
Well,
I wish they made a 48-inch balloon. That would be that'd solve all their problems.
We had someone on the phone. So, Bill, these balloons, they blow up right around 100 inches in diameter, in circumference. My notes show that 112, the one that flew the 51,000. My notes show a circumference of 111 inches on that balloon. Now, I don't know if I got...
You probably had an extra special balloon there.
Yeah, I don't know if their quality control is off where, you get different size ones in the package, but I'm almost certain, because when I did the next ones, I was trying to get it up to 105 inches or something. It just didn't want to go there. I mean, 100, 101 was about it. But I'm almost certain I had 111 inches on 112. And
you probably had an outlier that worked for your benefit.
Yeah. Do we pre-stretch them? Well, we fill them out for sure, because the way these four-gore balloons are, they press them down so tight that the seams kind of stick. And when it gets cold and up there, they might not come apart very good. So we do fill it out at least to its maximum diameter or circumference. I have tried stretching. These balloons just don't want to stretch. My experience is they don't want to stretch, and that's good. You don't want them really to stretch, but you really would like a little bit more volume. But I tell you, I think I had that 111 incher, and that's why it flew so high. And I mean, I don't want to get 10 out of the box and blow them all up to see which one I can get 111 inches out of, because that would pretty much destroy all of them.
That's probably what you'd have to do.
Yeah, I know it. So I don't know.
But well, we can talk to the Yokohama Balloon Company and see if we can special order some 48-inch ones.
Now, I'll tell you, I bet you a 48-inch one, I bet you that sucker would fly at 70,000 feet. I mean, that's big.
It probably would.
That's big. So, I mean, but nobody makes one. The biggest one we can find is at 32 inch. It seems like that's where their machine stops, their mold or whatever. Well, so if and when we do launch, we're going for 65,000 guys, and that
by the way, Tom, we've got just to let people know, the Great Plains Super Launch is June 16th and 17th in Huntsville, Alabama. So hopefully you can come out to that. We'll have a conference on Friday talking about
when is that again? When's that?
Balloons and pico balloons.
What's the date on that?
It's Friday and Saturday, June 16th and 17th in Huntsville, Alabama, at the University of Alabama Huntsville campus.
Yeah.
And then we'll be launching several latex balloons and pico balloons all at once from the Severe Weather Institute, which is across the street from campus. It's about a mile from Space Camp.
Yeah, okay. So Bruce says just put them in series, one on top of the other. Bruce, the problem with these particular balloons, you only have one little bitty tie point, and it's at the bottom of the balloon. And you don't want the string going around it and touching the balloon, because the string moving around, the string will destroy the balloon. It'll pop. And by going with 3 balloons, you're actually you're increasing your failure rate by about 2 or 3 times for sure. But these balloons seem...
Well, the pancake balloons had about an 1/8-inch press area that was a ridge that you could attach to.
Yeah.
So that's what people did.
Yeah.
When they stacked them on top of each other. And I've tried them side by side where they're just banging into each other. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
The only way that it worked when we were doing those pancake balloons were to stack them vertically. And 2 helped a great deal, but 3 is diminished returns. It really didn't see a lot of benefit stacking 3 of them.
Yeah, Bruce asked again, do they have longer ones at the same diameter? Well, we've found it, and we were trying to build balloons, the longer ones really don't fly much higher, because you're adding a lot more material to get that length in there. And what works
And
the best
also they're a
is
cylinder instead of a sphere.
Yeah, a sphere is what you want, man, and that's what these 4-gore balloons are. They puff out to almost a completely round sphere, and even the SBS balloon is almost a flat, like a pancake. I mean, it's got some flatness to it. It's about 8 feet long. Isn't it 32 inches?
It's a cylinder balloon.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's a cylinder balloon.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is. Just because it's long.
As Dwayne said, paint them with Moosehead beer. At least the Canadians won't shoot them down now.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, we don't want them bouncing against each other. We don't want the string rubbing each other, so that's an issue.
I will say that as a result of all this publicity, there are a lot of hams that had never heard of this aspect of ham radio, and I've got a lot of interest from people joining our mail list for Pico balloons, and it's really quite phenomenal, the increase in interest that resulted.
I've noticed the launches have gone up. I mean, there's people launching these things right and left now. Yeah.
Well, I hope that that they've turned the filters back on their radar so as not to see every little party balloon now.
Well, they probably have. I mean, even just a couple of days after the shoot down stuff, we crossed the U.S. With 112, and
I was worried about that.
No excitement there. It was all right. So, okay, all right. Well,
hey Tom, I just have a question for you. My feedback on Zoom shows my motions as being jerky and blocky, and it's got a message that says network bandwidth is low. Do you see that?
I see that.
Do people seeing that online?
I see the message, but what I see is your video is not moving sometimes, but you're still talking. So audio's coming through, your video is kind of frozen from time to time. At other times it looks normal.
Oh.
But yeah, it's just
interesting.
Yeah.
It's showing pretty good uplink speed. So I'll have to see what's going on with that, because I'm on a completely different. I think this new Zoom has got issues unless you've got gigabit internet.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's any way to set any kind of bit rate or anything. It just automatically.
Yeah, you can't choose that.
Right.
Now, I don't have gigabit. I mean, I'm running Windows 7 on an older machine, and it does fine with me. So it just may be something about that laptop you're on, though, too, Bill. The laptops sometimes run real slow, even though they've got the bigger processors.
Well, I got 22
this
megs.
is a brand new one.
I got 22 megs up, and it appears that's enough for the show and for my Zoom. I've got like 1,000 down,
I've got
1,000 down,
4.
but 22 up. Yeah.
I'm showing 8 down and about 3 up right now. On my DSL, it's 0.2 up.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, you might need to get yourself a little antenna and point it towards that tower.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a reflector behind the unit and
There
put a
you
little
go.
dish behind it.
Yeah.
It might be lag time because I'm probably 20 miles from the 5G tower.
Yeah, lag time could definitely be a part of it, too.
I'm going to run an internet speed test here and see what it's saying now.
But
If you want an internet speed test that doesn't have a lot of ads, pop-up ads, Google's got one. You go to Google and then type internet speed test. It's got a very simple speed test
Cool.
that works pretty well. I've been also trying speedtest.net, but they've got all kinds of ads that pop up.
Yeah.
On it.
So,
Let's see what it says.
yeah, I do the speed test here. You can do it with the browser, but they ask you to use the app, and the app is a lot faster on the speed test than just using the browser. Let's see what I get here.
All right, I've got 100 down and 1 up currently.
Pretty good.
It's great download, but it's still 5 times better than my DSL.
Yeah, I'm gonna run a test here on an old laptop that I use for the phone line here. I don't expect very good on it, but in my office in here, I get right at 900 and something down. Oh man, this is looking bad.
I just have like 30 down and 5 up.
Yeah, this is looking bad.
But it looks like they're running cable in my neighborhood because I'm seeing them every day. There's these trucks bringing in these big concrete things that they're burying into the ground. It looks like a terminal point or a jumper block or whatever for where the fiber is going to come in, and they're burying them along the easeway here.
N7XJR said I need some antenna wax to make those electrons fly off the antenna unit a little better.
I'll tell you what. So hey, Bill, are you trying speed test?
I reviewed that for 73 magazine.
Yeah. Are you
What's that,
trying?
Tom?
Are you trying speedtest.net? Is that where you go?
No, I go to Google and then type in internet speed test, and the Google's got its own speed test.
Okay. I always
But,
use
I also use
speedtest.net.
Speedtest.
I always use speedtest.net, or there's another one called speakeasy.net.
Right.
Yeah, I just run it on 2 different laptops here, and they're not even the same.
I'll try speed test on that and see what it says. My latency isn't bad. Ping time is pretty quick.
Well, I'm running
75
29
milliseconds.
1 down, and I'm just barely pushing 1.6 up.
Well, I'm showing 1.2 up, but my video is freezing up, which is weird. But I had to update to the latest version of Zoom. And ever since I've done that, I've had issues. The older version of Zoom had no issues, even on low speed.
So I just ran a speedtest.net, and I came out with about 26 megs down. I'm running a test at speakeasy.net, and I'm showing 108 down. And I know these are 2 old laptops I'm using back here on for the webcast, but typically in the office I'm around 900 something down. Speakeasy.net is probably a better one.
I found if I move my my home internet box 1 inch to the left, it's much faster.
Yeah.
You know, I need to look too.
It's
I'm showing a little over 100 meg here, but you know what? These old laptops may only have a 100 meg Ethernet card in them.
That's a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I put I put gigabit cards. Yeah, I got gigabit cards and gigabit switches here in the house, but these laptops may only be 100 megabit.
Yeah, I got 94 down and 0.69 up. So I think my upload speed is down a little bit below 1. So that must be what's going on. But like I say, the older version of Zoom handled 0.2 up without any trouble. But it seems to be, I think it needs, this new version has issues with lower speed internet.
Well, they probably need to take some of the bloatware out of it.
That's probably what they did. They added blower. You're right.
That's stuff. You know, you add more features and it just starts getting slow. It's like, no, give me the original stuff. Give me the fast stuff.
This is a brand new laptop. This is a brand new laptop with hardly anything on it. So an i5 internet.
Yeah.
You know.
No, it's probably going to be your connection. I was assuming you had that high speed still going on.
All right, guys, I'm going
do in
to
the download, but the upload.
I'm going to close the show down 9:30 and go get me something to snack on. I'm getting a little hungry.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. So, hey, guys, join us next week. 3:14. Dr. Arduino will be with us and with Glenn. I'm going to sit back and listen next week. Maybe I'll learn some neat projects that he's got and maybe get back into building some of them again. All right. 73, everybody. Good night, everybody. Glad to have you with us tonight. See you next week. 73, everybody.
Good night.